Okay, so we will begin now. Welcome to Tech Decoded, the tech podcast by the RAIT ACM-W Student Chapter. I am Winoliya Ponsingh, and I'll be your host for today's conversation. So, this podcast is not about perfect roadmaps or step-by-step formula. It's about real journeys, real decisions, real discussions, and how things actually unfold beyond classrooms and job titles. So today's episode is conversation around cybersecurity, red teaming, learning curves, and what it really takes to grow in this space. So joining us today is Vaibhav Chaudhary, a RAIT alumni and a red team consultant working with Mandiant, part of Google Cloud's offensive security services. His work focuses on full chain attack execution, adversarial tradecraft research, and red team engagements across the Asia-Pacific region, often against mature SOCs and enterprise-grade EDR environments. Alongside hands-on operations, he works on custom tooling, threat actor research, and regularly briefs both technical teams and leadership. So, sir, firstly, thank you so much for being with us today. So to start off, can you tell us a bit about yourself, how your journey started from RAIT, and how you went from RAIT to what you're doing now, basically?
Sure. So first of all, thank you so much for this wonderful introduction, Winoliya, and thank you to the entire committee behind RAIT ACM for this amazing opportunity. It feels really great to be back into the college after so long and to interact with you all. Thank you so much for the opportunity. So to answer your question, so I first of all graduated in 2018, and the formal, or rather let's start with the informal description of my current job role. So I work as a RAIT team consultant, as Winoliya said, and informally to speak, I break into computers and enterprise environments for fun and profit. Coming to the formal side of my job description, as Winoliya has already mentioned, I work on red team assessments, which involves breaking into organizations from an external attacker's perspective to obtaining certain objectives internally. So to start off as to how my journey started, prior to college, in fact, I was fortunate enough to come across cybersecurity right through my school days. So if you recall when we had dial-up internet connections, so I was fortunate enough that my family got a dial-up internet connection, and then we all went into downloading random games from the web, exchanging CDs and whatnot. So that piqued my interest, and after that, I started playing around with different ways that you could cheat into these games, right? Like every one of us must have tried at some point in their lives. So came across something called as cheat engine. If you guys have played Counter-Strike, you must know what are aimbots, what are wall hacks, which basically allows you to put bullets across walls. So that piqued my interest. Hey, games are designed this way, but of course there's also someone who is designing cheat codes for that. But what goes into writing that cheats? How cool it is to make the wall transparent and make the bullets pass through the wall, right? And okay, so I'm at stage 0. I've got no money in my accounts, player's account, but some way I can use cheat engine and I can increase that value from 0 to say 1,000,000. So what goes behind this? That piqued my interest. I started playing around with that. I was curious, going through random blogs and whatnot, zines, so on and so forth. And then happened so that my sister was studying engineering back then. A certain institute came in her college who were teaching courses on hacking back then, right? So I was very fortunate to be enrolled into that while I was in my 7th or 8th standard. And while this was properly intersecting with my newly found interest with wall hacks and cheat engines and whatnot. So that is where I first, at the earliest memory that I have that is where I got introduced to cybersecurity in general. So that happened, and then gradually I picked different skills from that training that I received, starting with writing simple batch scripts, batch viruses, learning how to compromise Wi-Fi wireless access points, how to phish, how to compromise somebody's Facebook account, right? Those interesting things that I used to find back then. So that is how I got introduced into cybersecurity. Then during my junior college days, I also was involved into cyber Olympiads, and that is where I found my liking towards computer programming. So that helped me build a certain interest towards writing softwares, small little softwares, but that was something I was innately passionate about. Then came graduation, and in graduation, just like you guys, we all are drifted apart. We all are different souls. So not all of us might enjoy programming. Not all of us might enjoy coding. That's all right. But then what happened was, eventually after a year or two, I realized that, all right, things are getting serious now. I need to find my niche. I need to focus on some area that is going to lead me to some sort of a job. So the best bet that I could place on myself was to go back to what my true interests were. And as I said, that since I was introduced to cybersecurity and I had an innate passion about that subject. So I chose that, and I gradually honed my skills on top of that, which were relevant to the job market back then. So participating into something called as capture the flag events, which are equivalent of hackathons, but in the hacking world. So CTFs, trying to learn different skills, attending conferences, right? So that is how I got myself back into the industry, but from a very job-oriented market this time. So that is how I got into honing my skills during college days. And then again, I was very fortunate enough to go into a conference which happens yearly in Goa, which is called NullCon. And in there, I was able to bag a prize in the local CTF competition which was happening there. And I wasn't aware of this, but there were different kiosks in the conference itself. And HRs and managers, they had their teams at those kiosks. So just hanging around, small story for you guys as well. Just had won this bouquet of prizes. It had a bag with Google branding on it. I was just walking around the kiosk, and then suddenly one of the HR catches attention and she calls me up, "Hey, did you win this?" Like, "Yes, I did." And then I go to her and, "Would you like to interview for this open position?" "Yes, why not?"
Crazy.
I wasn't even expecting this. Third year kid just hanging around in Goa at a random conference, and this happened So went there, interviewed at 3 different bunch of kiosks, and I was able to bag a job at the conference itself at 3 different companies. Then by the end of final year, I chose one of those 3 companies and went ahead with that. And then eventually, after spending 3 to 4 years in my first organization, I shifted to Mandiant, and now I'm working at Google Cloud. So that has been my journey from childhood to Google Cloud.
Wonderful, wonderful journey, to be honest. Now, since if we are interested regarding any topic, the first thing which we do is go to ChatGPT and be like, yeah, this is a topic, we are interested in it, just tell me some information. But your story, where it goes back to you had interest in cheat codes in games and stuff, so that was very fun to know. So obviously back then we didn't have these AI platforms to know or to gain knowledge. So how was your basic starting point of learning cybersecurity?
Right. So that's a very, very good question considering today's age and time, right? And so the thing is, let's just cut down through layers of cybersecurity first. So generally, the way we look at cybersecurity is as a umbrella term, wherein it's just one field, and we just tend to focus on that particular field only. But in reality, cybersecurity has got multiple subfields, okay? And if you go to the very roots of each and every field, which are more aligned to the technical side of domain, you'll realize that everything boils down to curiosity, is what I feel. That's my personal opinion, okay? So somebody who is, innately curious, for example, I'm holding this mic, but have we really thought how this conversation happens, right? How the sound is coming out of the speaker. We just know that such a technology exists, right? But has someone really gone into the depths to understand how this works? So that kind of innate curiosity is something that's going to build your passion into this particular field. And for me, I believe that is what kept me going, and that is what still keeps me going, because I'm innately curious. That helps me to, learn new technology, whether there's an AI assistant with me or not. I just do it because I like to do it. It's not that there's a very, some non-existent third dimensional or even a fourth dimensional force which is pushing me to do it. It's just because my nature is such that I enjoy studying and learning new things, which keeps me going. So if I go back to the time and age when there were no AI assistants, I would still go about Googling about a thing, understanding how it works at the very core of it. Now with AI assistants, it's just made my life easier. But the core aspect of my personality, that remains. So AI or not, the personality trait is what's going to keep you going in the longer run as well. And that helped me back then, it helps me now as well.
That's wonderful. So, taking you back to RAIT, what is that one thing which you learned here which was applicable in your working life also?
To be honest, a lot of things. Okay, I'll be honest. I'm being frank with you guys. I learned a lot of things. So to start off, this college not only provides you with good technical facilities, it also provides you with the ambience and the right sort of environment which is needed to break out of your shell. Okay, so if you take a random bunch of 10 folks, not everyone is going to be a good communicator. Not everyone is going to be good at programming. Not everyone is going to be a good dancer. But for me personally, what RAIT did was, okay, I was part of a certain group, and my friends, they were from different circles of life. Okay, so somebody was a amazing speaker. Somebody was very good at marketing himself. They did not know that they're a good marketer, but the nature of a person, you get to know that, all right, this person is good at marketing because they act a certain way. So what RAIT helped me did was, the college, I don't know how it happened, but I was put into certain friend circle which had, certain skills which they were really good at by nature. And that helped me shape my personality. So I used to pick traits. So maybe I'm not good at, maybe back then I wasn't so good at putting right combination of clothes. I did not have understanding of what to pair with what. But certain friend of mine, very good at putting right combination of clothes. So, right. So that helped me. I used to pick up that trait. And that happened with the rest of my friends as well. So at the end of the college, you are a whole completely, a 360 sort of a person who is good at what your true nature is. But at the same time, given the multiple different circles that people come from, you have also picked certain traits from each of your friends. So you just have to be wise enough to what to pick and to what to not pick. But for me, RAIT has been a wonderful college who helped me to put with right set of peoples and with whom I was able to garner right set of skills, which made me what I'm today. That's it. And apart from that, it was also the whole gamut of committees that we have, right? All the colleges have that, that's okay. But for me personally, what I felt was that RAIT has a very entrepreneurial spirit as a college itself. So folks are not only restricted to the technical courses, but everyone has this innate desire to either create or add on to an existing committee. So if you think and look at a wider angle, you'll realize that this is something that's going to help you in the longer run. To not only learn from what's given in the book, but to add, to create value, to create something from scratch. So in general, the college has that kind of a vibe. And that really helped me. I couldn't realize this point while I was studying here. But once I graduated and joined different jobs, worked with different kinds of people all across the globe, I realized, oh, this is what helped me to be what I am today. So to put in a list, I would say the different kinds of people from different circles of life that RAIT puts you with. Second is not only technical courses, but also honing you as a person, right from the base of your personality. And third is, of course, it's up to you that what you make out of this 4 years of your time, right? So working on right things at the right time, that is what helped me to hone my entire personality for the coming years as a college.
That is wonderful. It's so true that you said that you kind of learn bits and bits of people's personality. That is so true. Like my friend, she's a great speaker, and whenever I see her speak, I'm like, okay, the way she speaks, I want to be like her. You kind of learn that just from her. So that is so true. That's beautiful. I think that this is what engineering gives you. compared to any other degree. You kind of learn bunch of activities, bunch of talents from various people. Somebody's good at singing, somebody's good at dancing. So that's nice.
Absolutely. To add to that, I was just, I keep on going into this thinking loops when I'm sitting alone. And I often think that an engineer can become an artist, right? But an artist can't become an engineer after a certain time. So that way I feel very fortunate that I was, call it by my parents' pressure or, whatever it is, I got the opportunity to pursue engineering, come out of it, and now I have the liberty. Tomorrow I don't want to do engineering anymore. Oh, all right, fine, I'm going to do something else, be a carpenter, who cares? That's how it is.
Okay, so when we announced that we are going to have a podcast, one of the most major questions came in that what should the students focus on? Should they focus more on DSA or building projects or learning development?
Right. So that's a very valid question, and I feel that you guys are in right hands. We have got good teachers, we have got good placement officers to help you with that kind of things, but from someone who is currently working and somebody who have had this question in the past as well. So thinking from my perspective, all I can tell you is that you need to get your fundamentals right, guys. Okay, let's just get one with this fact. You can't just skip on the fundamentals of DSA, just focus on job applications and expect that some out of the world job offer is going to pop up into your email. That's not going to happen. At some or the other point in your life, you're going to have to go back to the basics and start from scratch. And that happened with me as well. Okay, let me be very honest with you guys. So it wasn't that I did not enjoy programming, but I used to miss certain tidbits of lessons. Why? Because I just did not used to like that part of the subject. So I used to do that very often. So one good example is Intel Architecture x86. So I used to hate that back in my college days because I used to find it boring, and on top of that I used to think, a man who studies computer CPU architectures at this age and time. I want to write something in Python. I want to write something much more higher level which interacts with the clients. I don't want something which interacts with the goddamn motherboard. I don't want something like that, right? So, but eventually what I realized is that once I entered into my field, one of the major forces that was pulling me back from progressing was this particular subject. So I had to go back to this subject from scratch, study, fill my gaps, and then move forward. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is, find your niche first of all, get your fundamentals sorted, and then you work on different ways that you can enhance your niche. Okay, so we'll get on the niche. I'm sure there will be more questions around it. But to answer this question very briefly, you need to focus on your fundamentals first of all. And what you need to do is, when it comes to projects, right, you don't have to build something very fancy, very advanced, but at the same time you have to build something which actually helps or eases someone's life, to put it very simply. Okay, go out there on GitHub if you're into cybersecurity. One topic that you can focus is command and control platforms, for example. So there are multiple open source projects, command and control platforms. C2 Matrix is something that you can go ahead and Google, and you can apply this in any of your fields of your interest. So what I'm trying to tell you is, pick a certain subtopic, go out there, figure out which project is actually active and is actually being used by live users. Try to understand that project. Try to see what kind of technology it is based upon. Try to see, do you really understand what is happening in this particular function? If not, go ahead, Google about it. You find that project interesting, you'll want to learn more about it. The key is to find the right project. What we tend to do is just listen to what maybe the staff has said, maybe what your friends have said, or maybe what your tuition teacher or some random YouTuber has said. But what we need to do is go and just search for what really interests you, and that's going to make you push to understand what that project actually does. And naturally the trail will follow. You'll be more interested in to add to that project, and that is where you'll realize that your CV would start to stand apart from the rest of the audience. And that's what you need to do. Everyone is going to have a very common project. Everyone is going to build a library system. You don't want to build a library system. You want something which is actually impactful and makes you stand apart. So when it comes to learning, get your fundamentals right. When it comes to projects, build something impactful. And when it comes to learning and development, you guys have, as I said, friends from different circles of life, right? So learn from everyone. You have got wonderful committees around you. You have got so many different inside the university itself, you have got so many different branches. Who's stopping you? Go speak to someone who is a doctor. That's going to help you build your communication skills, right? So 3 things: fundamentals, right niche that will lead you to the right project, and just be vocal. Just be out there. Speak to people. That's going to hone your personality. Don't shy off. Okay? Brilliant.
The point about learning fundamentals really brings back that we recently went to this ACM India Summit, where one of the speaker really mentioned that, you know, right now anybody can build projects, that is okay, but we want someone who can see an existing project and figure out where is like the loopholes. Like, can you see the code and just figure out what is this function going to do? Like, can you reverse engineer back? And he was basically telling us that instead of just building a website or any sort of thing from scratch, pick up some code and see whether you can figure out what the code is about. And that really, like, I found that so insightful, because we are often focusing on so much on those building things that maybe just reverse engineering it back would help out so much.
100%. I totally resonate with this fact. So yeah, so as I said, you would only go to that level if you really enjoy that topic, right? So you can't just pick any random project and go about reverse engineering it. So I would only go about reverse engineering a certain thing if I really, enjoy that topic. So that's the step 0. You need to figure out what you really enjoy, and do not listen to anyone around you. Just go and find out the truth for yourself. To put it into the great Vivekananda's words, Vivekananda said that do not believe on a word because it's been written in a book. Do not believe on a word because it has been said by a certain person. Do not believe in words because it is hollowed by tradition. Go and find out the truth for yourself, right? That's true realization. So just follow what Vivekananda said, guys. Just go, seek out, and just realize from within yourself, this is what I like. And that's when you will be reverse engineering that thing without even realizing it.
That's beautiful. Okay, something on a very lighter side. What's something students really stress about a lot, but they shouldn't stress? Doesn't it really matter?
I might, is there somebody from the staff here? Because I might get some solid beating for that. But I'll be honest here. I'm not sure if you guys are asked to do so or not, but assignments, guys.
We are asked to do so.
I mean, if it's on the practical side, go for it. That's going to help you hone your skills. But if it's the manual work of writing things, oh man. So that's one thing, guys. Just, I mean, if it's for the sake of marks, you'll have to do it. There's no other way to it. But if I were given a choice, hey, Vaibhav, you are supposed to write 120 pages of assignments, and I calculated in my mind, oh damn, it's going to take 2 hours of my time. So if I'm given a choice, I would rather spend that 2 hours somewhere else than writing something which I already am good at. If I'm not good at, that's a different story, but just mindlessly writing is not going to be of much value. Yeah, so that's one thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have to write. It's okay. We will learn something from it. And on the flip side, what skills or habits in general actually make a huge difference on the long run?
All right, so if we think from a habits perspective, what I'll say is that everyone's a different person at the end of the day. Okay, so there's no one habit to beat them all. But if I had to put it in one habit, I would say that just be consistent is something that I would stand by. The reason I say this is because we tend to find hot topics. We tend to find what's the latest in tech and what's latest in the job market and whatnot. And we also search for courses around it on YouTube or maybe Coursera or maybe even paid courses for that matter. But then eventually it happens so that we get bored of it or something else pops up. Now you want to learn guitar maybe. Now you want to learn piano. Who knows, right? So what happens is that you sort of lose consistency. So what you need to do is one habit that's going to work in the longer run and really make you a better person is to be consistent at whatever you pick. Pick one topic, something that you really enjoy, really like doing, and be consistent about it for certain period of time. Get the fundamentals right, and once you realize that you are at a right stage, you'll automatically notice that, oh, I've built this skill set. Now I can make use of this skill set and maybe write my own projects, maybe make something useful out of it, maybe write a course of myself, start earning money, right? So it only happens after a certain stage of constant focus zone and period has passed. So be consistent. That's going to help in the longer run for sure, whatever skill you pick.
Thank you for that advice. So you told that you work on the red team, which sounds quite fascinating, but also somebody who's not well versed in cybersecurity, this might seem not a familiar term. So can you just explain like simply what red teaming actually looks like, and what do you actually do in your day-to-day life in work?
Sure. So let me first reflect a bit upon what red team is, and I know it might sound a bit new, something which is generally not taught or listed upon on courses and frameworks that we come across. But to put it in simple words, I would put it as hacker for hire. Very simple definition. Okay, somebody who is paying you to hack a certain organization. So as you can imagine, if you are hacking your friend, it's a different story. All you need to do is, if you're after their social accounts, go and create a phishing page which is going to compromise their social media's password. If you're after their second factor of authentication, there are different ways. I'm not going to talk about it here, but all I'm trying to say is, to compromise a friend of yours versus hacking an enterprise organization, it's a different battle altogether. So what I do for my day job is I compromise enterprise organizations. All right. So when you think from that perspective, it's not a one-click hack that you generally see on TV serials and Mr. Robot. Mr. Robot is still a very good option, but it's not something that you see on the media. So what we tend to do is we are given certain set of objectives. Now, what hacking an enterprise actually means. So say your company X and you are very protective about your proprietary data because you don't want that to be leaked publicly. That is literally what you spend most of your budget upon, right? So you come to me and you tell me, hey Vaibhav, see, this is my proprietary data. Think from an attacker's perspective, would you be able to get hold of my proprietary data and make it public? I would be like, yes. So they'll be like, yeah, okay, show me how it can be done. So the how it can be done is what red teamers do. Okay. So the how part is what I do for my day job. My day job is to demonstrate them. This is how your company could be compromised. This is how somebody can enter your network, get hold of that sensitive data, put it out in the public, and this is how you're going to get into financial as well as other kinds of losses, right? So to briefly say, that is what the day job is. If you want me to go into the technicalities of it, happy to do so.
Can you just give some basic technicalities? Maybe if somebody wants to be part of this, so what are the basics they might have to learn for it?
Yeah, sure. So the thing is, this field is such that you won't find jobs right fresh out of your college for red team, right? Because this is sort of, I would say, comes with experience. Okay. So somebody who is just fresh out of college knows the right skill sets, but is seeking for a red team job, they may have a very hard time finding one because they're not much in the job market, rightly so. So if you want to really dive into this field, there are certain other subfields that you should be good at. Okay. So to start off with, if you're into your college days, the entry level jobs in current market would be mostly around penetration testing. And penetration testing is something sort of a level 1 to go to red team. So penetration testing would involve compromising or attacking client facing applications. That would include your web applications, your Android applications, your iOS applications, thick client applications, so on and so forth, right? So get a good grasp of those skill sets. Get a good grasp of a particular technology. Okay, what do I mean by a particular technology? I'll say if you are into Android application assessments, if you really enjoy hacking Android applications, so think of it as a particular technology and that's your niche. So go to the roots of it. You don't need to really reverse engineer the Android kernel and dive deep into it. If you're interested into that, nothing like it. But what I'm trying to tell you is, of all the subfields that you see, you need to pick one, get good at it, so that you can stand apart from the rest of the crowd. So you'll see in the market there are multiple courses and whatnot which sell you this, penetration testing courses, this, that. That's fine. But you need to find your niche, build your strong skill sets on that, and gradually move your way up to different sort of skill sets. Okay. Once you have a good grasp of penetration testing, you can gradually build on those skill sets and add what I call is supplements to that level of skills that you have honed now. And what are those supplements? So think from an attacker's perspective, as in a threat actor's perspective who wants to compromise a company. Now they would obviously require some sort of a malware. So to write malware, you need to understand programming. Now to understand and write malware, you also need to be good at some operating system, because at the end of the day, your malware is going to run on a certain operating system. It could be Windows, it could be Mac OS, it could be anything. So if you want to write a malware, you need to understand how the internals of that operating system work. Once you have that grasp, you can add to that skill set on malware development, and there are multiple different courses as well on this. You can leverage those as well. So to start off, I would recommend, if you want to get into the red team side of roles at your level while you are at universities, you can go with CTF competitions. Get good at any programming language that you personally like. Semantics don't matter. After a certain time, once you got the basics right, you can shift and shuffle between programming languages, but get good at least one of it. Okay. And I would recommend that get good at something low level, which is more towards the operating system, such as C++, C, right? And add on a scripting language with that, Python, PowerShell, anything will do. So combination of this would be amazing. Once you have this, the fundamentals right, go with CTF, capture the flag competitions. There's a website, ctftime.org. Go and visit there, you'll see there are lots of CTFs happening per week. Register on one. Need not be, don't look at the difficulty level. Just register on one. Just try to see what kind of things are being asked. That's when you would understand that this is the latest and greatest. That's what you can learn. Now you have a benchmark. I have the baseline. Now you have a benchmark. What's the benchmark? To get good at CTFs. You are able to bag 10 of the challenges which are given in CTFs. That's going to boost your confidence. Fundamentals, language, CTFs, then comes your penetration testing skills. Club that with supplements, you're ready for red team role. So it's a long path, takes time, but worth the effort if you're willing to, bleed for it, for a lack of better word.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm pretty sure it's going to be helpful for a lot of people who want to break into cybersecurity. Something fun. What is any specific memory from RAIT which you kind of cherish till now?
There are lots of memories, but something that I cherish up until now. Oh man, I'm really bad at this.
It's okay.
Yeah, because there are lots of memories. I would say that. Yeah, I would say that I was in my first year and we had our results out. Okay. So we had our results out and I was confident in myself and that happened. I really did not get a KT. So I could see my friends crying on the side that, oh man, I studied so hard and I got 4 KTs, I got 5 KTs and whatnot. And I was like, oh shit, am I that fortunate? Because I did not get a single KT. So that really still sticks up to me that I did not go with this intent that I have to top the exam. I was just like, okay, let's just pass. It's all right. We can start focusing on the subjects from the other semesters. And that really still sticks up to me till date that, oh man, I passed. And that was such a big deal because literally 50% of the class had at least 1 KT back then. So yeah, that's one of the memories out of many memories that I have here.
Yeah, I think engineering just humbles you down quite a lot.
Agreed.
Engineering is a humbling degree. I mean, before coming to engineering, used to be like everybody is like a topper in their schools or somewhere or in their classes where everybody is scoring 95, 98. Then you come here and like, oh, we just want to pass. We just want to pass in this paper. That's it.
Totally.
That's the bare minimum.
Totally.
Next question, which is quite the buzzword right now, which is AI. With AI being everywhere right now, how do you see it changing cybersecurity?
All right. So, of course, there's going to be changes. What I can say. I mean, from my perspective, but let's put it this way. Okay. So, the way that we tend to look at AI needs to sort of shift a bit, because generally students have a certain understanding that this is going to create a tectonic shift in the job market, and things are going to fall apart, and will I or will I not get a job. Generally students have that kind of a perspective, but what we need to understand is that somebody, I can't recall who said this, but I could totally resonate with that line. So what was said was that think of AI as a thing which basically multiplies what you already know. Okay, so if you don't know anything, if it's a zero, it's going to lead to a zero. But if you know 10 things, it's going to multiply on that and give you returns. So what I'm trying to tell here is that you need to have your fundamentals and basics right at the place, and you can leverage AI on top of that. It's not going to disrupt or take away your job, especially in cybersecurity. As I said, I work in a sensitive field. Okay, so I can't trust an AI to go and touch a very sensitive part of a company's network, correct? So you need to have a human element to it, right? So, but what I can trust AI is to, what I already know. I enjoy programming malware, for example. And if I need to work on an existing technique which is already out there in the public, and I'm too lazy to find out the right resources, links, and so on and so forth. So I can leverage that, take whatever the output is given to me and work on top of that. So I'm not worried that, hey, AI might take my job, because what I'm truly am going to do is going to add value to what's already out there. The curiosity element of it, right? That's not something that's going to come out of AI. To give you a very basic example, okay, to calm your nerves. So I'm sure most of you must be on Instagram, right? And when you come across a caption, you can really make out, hey, this is AI generated. Hey, this is not. This is something that the person has really, come up by their own self. But if you read something which is AI generated, it's very evident, right? So think of it from that perspective. The creative element that you add in your captions, where is it coming from? It's from within you. It's your curious nature that's, penning down all those details. So similarly, not only in cyber, but in any industry, what I personally feel is that the creative element is what really differentiates from AI agents in general. Think of it as an assistant, not something which is going to gallop down your jobs. So in cybersecurity, we are using it as an assistant. There are lots of agents and companies which are coming out there which do something called as AI-led pen tests or AI-led even red teams as of now, but I'm not sure. I haven't gone into the depths or details of those companies, but sure, those companies are popping up. But what I'm trying to tell you is there's always a human element which is required for such fields, which is going to last, and that's not going to be overcome by AI, at least, as long as you have that curious element in you, the creativity element. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for your perspective. Now to speed up things, we have a rapid fire section. So I'll ask you some questions. If possible, just try to answer them in seconds.
Okay, all right, let's go.
Okay.
Shoot.
Bug fixes or building something new?
New.
One word to describe your journey so far?
Fast.
Learning alone or learning with people?
Alone.
Late night debugging or early morning clarity?
Late night any day.
One app or tool you can't work without?
One app at this stage.
Okay. One thing students should stop overthinking?
Jobs. Worry of jobs. Take it easy. You're going to land in the right one. Give it time.
Okay, thank you for that comforting words. Planning everything or figuring out as you go.
I'm more of a planning everything kind of a person.
Okay.
Yeah.
One tech myth you wish would disappear.
Cyber security doesn't require you to write code. Just disappear.
If not cybersecurity, what field would you explore?
Oh wow, that's an interesting one. I'll probably at this point in my life I'll be a writer. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Last question. One tech habit you're trying to improve.
Tech habit, is it? Okay, that's interesting. Writing good feedback on the code. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so the last question for today is, if students could take away one thing from today's conversation, what would you want that to be?
Just go out and figure out what truly interests you. Okay, at this stage everybody is lost. I know, I've been there myself, but what you need to do at this stage is just figure out what is it that really drives me. What is it? Don't go for, oh, I need to focus on this company, this is their job description, these are the skills that are in demand. No, think of what you genuinely want, what you truly enjoy doing, and that's going to land you into, just exponential career growth in the longer run. Go out, go home tonight, find your that everyone has that one sweet spot, maybe at your house or maybe at the nearest garden. Go sit there, just think, just don't go into any phone or any doom scrolling. Just be with yourself, an hour, half an hour, whatever you're comfortable with, and just ask yourself, what is it that you truly enjoy doing? Okay, and it could be aligned with your career or not, but you need to have that clarity. So one thing to take away, do this, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your journey so openly. This is exactly what we wanted Tech Decoded to be about. Honest conversations and real experiences. And unfortunately, this brings us to the end of first episode of Tech Decoded. Thank you to everyone who joined us, and we hope you take something meaningful from this conversation. This is just the beginning of many more such conversations. Let's give our speaker a big round of applause.
Thank you.